It was October 25, 2010, my wedding anniversary. Every year this day as a family we plan for some outing, and that day too we went out for dinner and celebrated our years of togetherness. So writer is telling that like every year this is the date October 25, 2010 was the date, and that is our anniversary, and like every year we have celebrated. We went out, we went for some outing, had our dinner outside and celebrated our togetherness. Okay, the next day, that is on 26th October, as usual, I came back home around 9 p.m. from work, from my workplace, from my duty. I came at 9 o'clock at my home. My daughter Vishnu, the name of the daughter is Vishnu, had reached home early from her work. She came before me because she also came from, that means she is also uh, working somewhere, and she came back from her office before me. Okay, but my son, Anish, the name of the son is Anish, was yet to reach home. He has not yet reached home. He has to. Okay, he is on his way home, said Sarala, my wife. The wife of writer is Sarala. She said that he is, when he inquired about his son Anish, she said that he is on his way. He is just coming. Okay, at about 9:30 p.m. I came home at 9, and about 9:30 p.m. my mobile rang and it was a call from Anish number. I thought he was going to say that he would come home late, but when I picked up the call, I heard a different voice at the other end. The troubled and panicky voice said that Anish had met with an accident in a nearby area. So it's telling that around 9:30 I got a call in my call came in my phone. When I saw the name flashed was Anish. So I thought this call is from my son Anish, and he called me to tell me or inform me that I'll be late for sometimes. Okay. And with that intention only, when I picked up the phone, the sound which came from other side was different voice. It was not his son's voice. Okay, it is someone else who, with the panicky voice, with the troubled voice, very troubled voice, that man is telling that the person whose phone is this met with an accident in a nearby area where they live. Okay. On hearing this, Sarla and Vishnu broke into tears and started screaming. I tried to console them, but in vain. So he's telling, on hearing this news that my son met with an accident, my daughter and wife started screaming, they started crying, and I was just trying to console them that no, don't cry, not, let's hope nothing worse hadn't happened with him. Everything will be all right. Likewise, I'm trying to console them, but everything is in vain. It's just waste. Okay, that if they don't accept those things, they are just crying and crying. I quickly sped to the accident spot in my car. I just picked up my car and reached there quickly, and the sight that I saw is still vivid in my memories. So it's telling the moment when I reached there, the situation, the sight which I saw is still, when I sit to write this article, is still very clear in my memory. It is still there in my memory. My 6-footer son was lying unconscious on the road, and the bike was on the other side of the road. That means the accident was very severe, that the bike lied on the other side of the road and the son is lying on the another side of the road. With the help of the onlookers, the people who were just standing and looking what happened, with their help, we shifted Anish to the back seat of my car, and I could feel warm blood on my hands while putting him from that accident spot. He's telling that I feel that warmness of the blood. That means continuously the blood was flowing. Okay, I felt the warmness of the blood when I holded his head on my on my hands. We took him to a nearby reasonably good hospital as quickly as we could. So we just rushed towards this hospital which is nearby and reasonable to take care and good also. It had been just a year since Anish returned from Scotland after completing his studies. Okay, now he's just giving a flashback that just 1 year ago he came back from Scotland. He completed his studies in abroad Scotland and came back to India just a year ago. I used to always insist him to wear a helmet when he was on a two-wheeler. The writer is telling, I always used to insist him to wear helmets whenever you're riding bike or two-wheeler. But he used to argue that he was just traveling only a short distance. Accidents can occur even when we travel a short distance. So he's telling, whenever I used to tell him he wear a helmet while riding the bike, he said that I'm just traveling in a very nearby distance. I don't need to wear helmet, and that causes this happen. And he's telling the accident will not see the distance. It can take place in a very short distance also. And in the event of an incident, there is a maximum chance of head injury. So it's telling in this kind of accident, that means while driving or riding two-wheeler, when some accident takes place, the most affected part of the body is the head. Okay, mostly it creates head injury, and that is more dangerous. So one need to wear a helmet while riding bike. There was urgency in the voice of the nurse sent by the doctor to call me. She was just telling about that same thing, that the moment when we take him to the hospital, there was an urgency in the voice of the nurse. Nurse came very quickly, and she said to me that doctor has called me. Okay, doctor called me. I felt a surge of anxiety as I entered the doctor's cabin. Okay, he's telling I feel somewhat anxiety that what happened, what the doctor is going to say, that with all the wild thought, with the very bad thought, I was just entering the doctor's cabin. The doctor revealed that Anish's brain had been severely injured and that in a couple of hours he would collapse. Okay, so when I entered with the anxiety in the doctor's room, doctor said that he has got very severe injury in his head, and I don't think he is going to survive for long hours. Within next few hours, in a couple of hours, he is going to collapse. He is going to die. Okay, however, I was not in a frame of mind to accept that. This man is telling, but my mind, my heart, my mind is not ready to accept this, that I'm going to lose my son within next few hours. I wanted my son back to life. I really want him back to life. My mind is ready to accept this reality. We shifted Anish immediately to a leading hospital. We thought of taking another chance. We just took him from that hospital and took him to a bigger hospital, a leading hospital. The neurosurgeon there examined him and decided to go for a surgery. He was going to take a chance and get the surgery done because Anish was just 25. Okay, when we shifted him to the another hospital, leading hospital, their neurosurgeon did all the checkup and every test and everything after scanning and everything. He came to a decision. He took a decision of doing a surgery, and that even not with the guarantee. He said that he took the chance to do a surgery because this boy is very young. He there is a hope that he may come out of this dangerous situation, because he is just 25 years old. He is young, that's why they can take a chance to do surgery. He being young was the only hope for his survival. Okay, so they have only this is the hope that he can survive because he is very young. He is just 25, so we can take a chance by doing a surgery. Otherwise, there is no hope left. He, being young, was the only hope for his survival. Alone, I was waiting outside the operation theater at 2:30 a.m. Okay, so throughout the night, the surgery was going on. Around 2:30 a.m., I was all alone, sitting and waiting outside the operation theater and weeping continuously. I'm crying continuously. Anish was a dream. He was a role model to Vishnu. He was a wonderful person to our family and friends. He was a very good boy. He was our dream for her, his sister. He is a role model for family and friends. He's a very good boy. Everyone wanted Anish back. But in what state is he going to be after the surgery? So the thought started coming in my mind that everybody wants him back in life, but after surgery, how he is going to come out? Is he going to be alive? The first question comes in my mind is whether he is going to alive, because doctors said that we are just taking a chance. I can't assure you, but I'm just taking a chance with the hope that he will survive. So first question comes in the mind of the writer is that the father is that whether he is going to come out alive from the operation theater. Is he going to be normal? If he came out alive, is he going to be normal? Will he ever speak again? Whether he'll be able to speak us again? Is he going to walk, or will he have to use the wheelchair? My thoughts ran wild. My thoughts started running, and all negative thoughts started coming in my mind. The memory of that dreadful night still shudders my whole being. The memory of that night still, till now, when I'm sitting and writing this article, when I thought of those days, my body started shuddering. Okay, it's very uh, that was a really dreadful moment, dreadful night for me. Even as I write this now, words fail to express my grief. Even when I'm sitting and writing this article, words fail to express how dreadful the situation was. I'm not finding proper word to express even. These words which I'm using seems very less in front of the reality which I faced on that night. After the surgery, the doctor said that in a scale of 1 to 15, where a normal person would be rated 15, Anish would be rated only 3. So once this surgery is over, but doctor, even after surgery, he said that in the rating chart, in a rating list from 1 to 15, if I'll rate, where a normal person is rated with the 15, I can rate him with 3 only. That is not in a good condition. Okay, Anish could be rated. He was then shifted to a special room with 24 hours special nurse to take care of him. Tubes were inserted into his body to aid breathing, feeding, and urination. So, yes, after operation, after surgery, he was shifted to a special room where a nurse for 24 hours is available, kept there to take care of him. Tubes were inserted in his body everywhere to breathe, to feed, to urinate, everywhere. The things were going on with the help of this tubes only. The right side of his skull was cut open and kept in his abdomen for future use. His skull was kept open by cutting and keeping it in the abdomen for the for using it later on when he will recover a little bit. Which moved right. So the only movements in his body were that of his head, which moved right and left, and his eyeballs. The whole body lies deadly, we can say. Only movement in his body is his head that moves a little bit right and a little bit left, and the eyeballs just moves here and there. That's it. Nothing, no other movement in his body is there. If only my child has listened to me and worn his helmet. Why has this plight befallen my son? If only my child has listened to me and worn his helmet. He's telling why this all thing would have happened if my son listened me that you should wear helmet while riding two-wheeler. Anish was back home after months of hospitalization. Status of Anish, status quo. Unconscious, hands and legs were in the stage of contraction, tubes in the neck for breathing, a catheter, a flexible feeding tube placed through the abdominal wall and into the stomach for feeding. A semi-hospital was created in the house, a cot with adjustable backrest, oxygen cylinder, BP apparatus, airbed, nebulizer machines, suction machines to suck the fan through his tracheostomy tube. two nurses, one for the day and one for the night. Twice a day physiotherapy exercises. So after sometimes he came back after months of hospitalization with the same situation, has been taken to the house, and the status, if I defined, remains the same. Okay, all three tubes are there in his body. His head, hands and legs were getting contracted. A semi-hospital is created at home. BP apparatus, oxygen cylinder, okay, suction machine, nebulizer machines, everything were kept over there. That means the whole room has been converted into a semi-hospital, and two nurses were appointed there or kept there, for one for morning and one for night. That means 24 hours. One nurse is needed to be there twice a day. Physiotherapists used to come in for some exercises and all, so that it can just move or recover a little bit. We could only look helplessly at our suffering child and wish that nobody should ever go through our terrible situation. What we, the family member, could just look at him in such terrible situation and just pray that nobody should suffer like us. We all think that something like this will not happen to us, but it happened when you least expect it to happen. This thing is something which nobody ever expected to be happen, but it happens when nobody expects. Anish used to say that when he wears the helmet, his head sweats, because of which his hair gets spoiled. But because he didn't wear a helmet, now his head itself got spoiled. So he's telling when he was riding the bike, and I used to tell him to wear helmet. What argument he used to do is, first we know that he used to tell that it is a very short distance where I'm traveling, and another excuse he used to give is when I wear helmet, I got sweat, and because of sweat, my hairs got spoiled. The hair got spoiled, and he's telling now my son, because he has not worn helmet, the whole head got spoiled. His life got spoiled at the age of 25 only. He had so many dreams. He had told me once, all our dreams will be fulfilled once I came back from Glasgow, Appa. Okay, he's telling that he at this age he has so many dreams. He used to plan everything. He said that once I'll came back, that means he might have some problem, plan to go again to Glasgow. He's telling once I'll came back from that place, all our dreams will be fulfilled. I'm going to earn a lot. I'm going to fulfill all our dreams. He would have been still dreaming. He might be dreaming still, lying on the bed, but he was able to neither communicate nor act on his dream. But now, what is the use of that dreaming? Because he could not express his dreams, his wish, neither he can express nor he can fulfill. He can put effort to fulfill those dreams because he's lying on the bed. The whole family was crying every day. Vishnu cried with Sarla. Sarla cried in front of the gods in our puja room, and in every temple. She knew, and I cried within me. So everybody is crying. My daughter is crying in front of her mother. The mother is crying in front of the idol of the god, and uh, in every temple she goes and do prayer and cry. And I cry within me because I can't cry in front of anybody. Being a man, being a father, I need to be bold, strong, so I'm crying within myself. Life went on. 4 years in bed, and Anish's condition remained unchanged. Every day we talked to him loudly, holding his hand tight. Sometimes he moved his mouth as if to say love you in response to my love you. So he's telling similarly in the same condition, with the same situation, life went on for 4 years, continuously for 4 years. This boy is in the same situation, no changes takes place. Every day we try to talk to him loudly, that whether you listen to us or not. He's just holding him tightly, shaking him as if to listen us. Okay, but sometimes we feel that his mouth is just moving. He's trying to move his mouth to response as love you, in response to the to our love you. Okay, we played his favorite music for him. There would be no expression on his face, but we could understand that he could smell the aroma of food when Sarila cooks. We played his favorite music, but no expression, without expression, because he could not express. He is in the same condition for last 4 years, and we know that he feel the aroma, the essence of his mother's cooking, which he likes a lot. Every 1 month we took him for review in an ambulance. We tried all kinds of treatment techniques, but nothing actually bettered his condition. Every month we took him in the ambulance to the hospital and did tried different types of all types of techniques for his treatment, but nothing helped to better his condition. 4.5 years passed by. One day Anish had a problem with his catheter, and we rushed him to the hospital. Similarly, 4.5 years passed by. One day we find that he had some problem in his catheter, urocatheter, and we rushed him. We took him to the hospital immediately. There he developed a breathing difficulty also and collapsed. Ultimately, he collapsed. His he left us in that situation after 4.5 years of in same condition. He left us. His painful life had come to an end. The pain, the sufferings which he was suffering since last 4.5 years gets over. Okay, it came to an end. For us it was a huge loss. Of course it is a very big loss for us. We have lost our son of the family. We could only stand by helplessly, and as our dear son departed us forever, we could do nothing. We just stood. We can just stand in front of his body and saw that our son is leaving us forever. His soul is departing from his body forever. That's all from this article. Hope this is very informative and helpful for the new generation to think about it, that the loss of one person is not uh, his own only his life, but it is of the whole family. Last statement which the writer gave is, life is precious, irreplaceable gift. And when everything in life goes smoothly, if only we would adhere to the available safety and intelligent measures, most of the time we can save our life and spare the grief of our dear ones. So life is very precious. Life is uh, very precious gift from the God. It is irreplaceable. It can't be replaced with any kind of amount. Any money can't replace the beauty of life, the happiness of life. So when our life goes very smoothly, we should not take things very granted. We should adhere to the safety measures everywhere very intelligently and let our life go very happily and save our life, not only our life, and we should spare our family members or the dear ones from the grief of losing us. So it's better to be safe every time to make everybody happy. That's all from this article. Thank you.